Durosimi Eti. I'm the founder of AGS Tribe. AGS Tribe is a platform that connects women to each other and to opportunities. We're very, very passionate about women, women getting access to funding, so funding like grants and, low interest loans, things that can actually propel them to the next level, scholarships, jobs, and all of that. We have a community of women. Right now we have over 1,100 women, and Derry is also a member of our community. The community was really set up just to empower the woman, let women know that they can be more than they think they can be. Let them understand that they are made to feed nations and not just their households. And if you see another woman doing it, then you'll be more motivated and all of that to understand that if person A can do it, then person B can do it too. And if you have any challenges on your way, you can easily ask someone else who is in the community. And I'm sure, you get through anything you're going through, because there's nothing truly there's nothing that you're going through that somebody else has not been through, pretty much. That's the whole idea of the community. It's a subscription-based community. And I'll talk about that, as we go on in the interview. So today I'm really, really excited to be hosting Derry Fabiku, who is an awesome, awesome, awesome person. I've known Derry now, I think, since when did you enter Covenant? Maybe 2006. And she's just a girl, just chilling, doing her own thing, walking around school with her friends and all of that. And then, I would finish school and everything. She'll talk about what she studied in school and all of that as we go on as well. And so I'm really, really interested to understand how she got into this whole fashion industry and all of that. So we're just going to get right into it. So Derry, please tell us about yourself. Tell us about your journey, into fashion, how you got into fashion. We want to hear the full gist. What did you see that really inspired you? What did you see that made you understand that, okay, this is actually an industry I want to stay in? Did you also ever have a 9-to-5 job? Can you just take us through that process of the beginning? Don't go into too much detail, because I'm sure as we go down, I will have some other questions to ask you. But just tell us about the journey of how you started, and if you even worked a 9-to-5 job. How did you decide that you wanted to be an entrepreneur, and not just an entrepreneur in the fashion industry?
Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Derry Fabikun. I am the creative director for Fablin by Derry and Bloom by FBD. So how did I start my journeys? All of my life, I knew that I love fashion. So I was that little child that would want my dress to match my headband. I was that little child that would pick up my outfits from my parents, and I would decide exactly what I wanted to wear out and stuff like that. So in uni, when I was in university, I was also that friend that people would always come to me to find out if their outfit was fine. And the friend that would be like, oh, I don't think your top goes with your pants. Would you like to take something out of my locker to match? I think I have something that could match. So I was that friend. And then by my final year in university, I had already started designing. I already had an idea of like fashion. I already started sketching and things like that in my own little way. I remember very well that I made the sketch for my graduation outfit and for my Thanksgiving. So I always had the passion for it. Even in university, when my friends would ask me, oh, what do you want to do after uni? I'd be like, okay, just give me a bit of time, because I wasn't quite sure on the direction yet. And then my parents as well, into NYSC, they would ask me, oh, because obviously they quite knew that I couldn't do anything too stressful. So they asked me.
Oh my gosh, we can't really hear you. Your internet is really breaking up. Oh my God, I hope the internet doesn't start messing up today. I'm going to cry. We can't hear you at all, Derry. Oh my goodness. Can you guys hear me?
Hi. Okay, yes, my internet is back. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, should I start again, or I should just continue from where
Just
I stopped?
continue. Just continue with how you started and all that.
Okay, so what I was saying is when I was in my 400 level, I knew I knew that I had love for prints and everything. So I asked my mommy to buy Ankaras for me that I would want to make some when I get out of school. And then when I got out of school, I designed a kaftan back in uni, and then I made that kaftan for myself. And my sister said, oh, she likes my kaftan, so I made one for her to wear to work. And then she came back saying, oh, everybody likes my kaftan, or that give me your tailor's number. And then I was just about to, but then I thought about it like, oh, this is my design. I created this by myself. So, you know what, hold on, give them my number instead. And that was how literally business started coming in. But back then I had a tailor out right on the street that I would go and give the kaftan to make. And then after a while, he started coming to the house. And then in that process, I sat my parents down. I wrote a list. I remember my list so well. I said 1 industrial sewing machine, 1 industrial weaving machine, iron, cutting table, and thread. And then I said, okay, Daddy, if you give me this thing, everything on my list, I will never ask you for anything again. And then he thought I was joking. But as God would have it, God was so, like, it was so good to me that I never actually had to ask my dad for anything again, just after that one list. And then, no, I never worked 9 to 5, actually. It never even crossed my mind. Like, 9 to 5 never crossed my mind, because I did IT back in uni, 300 level, and I hated it. I hated it so much. Like, I could not stand it. So I'm just like, when everybody kept on asking me that, what are you going to do? I'm like,
people are saying that they can't see your face. So can you move your phone?
Okay, I don't know what to do.
No, I think you should just maybe or sit down on the pillow.
Okay,
yes,
you know
it's better now. Fantastic.
Is this better?
Yes.
Guys, I'm sitting on the edge of the chair for you guys. Okay, yeah. So I had an issue with my boss during my IT, and it just scared me, and I just realized like I never could work for anyone. So no, I never worked for anyone. But yeah, my journey started from making kaftans for myself, my sisters, and then having a tailor come over, and then from then on, it navigated to what it is now.
Okay. Do you think that going to Covenant University even had an impact on your business when you first started? Because schooling in Nigeria, automatically you know a lot of people, and you have a lot of friends who can patronize you, really early on. So do you think that had an impact on your business or anything like that?
Covenant University, I'm not sure, but maybe the friends I made in Covenant University, yes. But Covenant was a good school, yeah, but I'm not quite sure. I'm not sure. So don't let me give them accolades when I don't know that they deserve it. So yeah.
No, Covenant was a good school. I went to Covenant, so I know.
Yeah,
like I feel like school. I'm a product of Covenant University. Even though when I was there, I don't think I was the the perfect student.
I guess what you mean.
Yes, but I think things like the EGS, like entrepreneurial studies and total man concept and all that, really added to all. Because if you look at people who have graduated from Covenant, a lot of us are on the entrepreneurship route. And even though back then I never wanted to be an entrepreneur, so the way you working for someone didn't cross your mind, it never crossed my mind to be an entrepreneur, because I couldn't really understand how somebody could build a business to become global. So but I think all the things that we used to learn in passing really has an effect on us, like right now, in hindsight.
Yeah, probably unconsciously.
Yeah, unconsciously, yes, exactly. Okay, so talking about Fablin by Darian, I remember your Fablin by Darian signature dress and how it was a hit, back in the day. I think anyway, I'm sure you talked to us about what year that came out, but it was quite a while from when you even graduated from school. I remember that dress, everybody was wearing the dress. Like, I bought the dress, everybody was wearing the dress. So
Yeah.
do you think that, you know, people started recognizing your brand from that dress? And do you think like that dress actually changed the trajectory of how your business, you know, grew over the years?
Yes, the signature dress was actually our breakthrough design. Like, that is the design that put us on the map. And there's a story behind the signature dress that is quite funny. So what had happened was, I had a wedding and I made a dress that I'd seen off of the internet. I just made a dress for myself. And then I was feeling fly, you know, in the car. Before I got to my event, all of the threads on the dress had come off. Like, the dress was different from what I had sewn. So I had two options. It was either for me to turn back home and say, I can't wear this, or just look like you're a fine girl, enter into this wedding, whatever. So I decided to go with the second one, and I'm like, I'm gonna go to this wedding regardless of what anybody, like, whatever. Nobody saw the dress initially anyway, so I'm gonna go. So I remember from the gate, everybody was staring at me, but I just thought maybe, okay, maybe because I was wearing red. The first one that we ever made was red. And then I walked into the wedding and two people complimented my dress. They're like, we love your dress. I said, thank you. And I remember so well, Mimi Onolaja was at that wedding with me. So she was sitting down and I sat next to her. And she's like, Darren, I love your dress. And I told her the story. I'm like, Mimi, this is not the dress I made. Or like, this dress has completely changed. And she said, yo, I don't know what the original design was, but this dress that you have on right now is exactly what I want. And that has been my story, because like, the one mistake design was my grace point. That was my breakthrough design. And till date, we have it hasn't actually gone out of style, because we have people still inquiring about it. But we have made over 5,000 pieces of that particular design that was a mistake.
Wow.
So every day, sometimes I just think, I'm like, what if I went back home? Went back home that day, nobody would have seen that dress, and I don't know where my brand would be. So like, for everyone that is out there trying to you're trying to build your business brand, your grace can come from a mistake. Like, don't be too harsh on yourself when you make a mistake. It's one of those things that will happen. Don't be harsh on yourself when you make a mistake. Something great can come out from your design, from your mistake, like it happened to me. So yeah.
And how long? Okay.
Yeah.
No, continue.
What you were saying?
No, I was going to say, how long did it take for you to have that breakthrough design from when you even started your business?
Okay, so I would say I left school in 2010, and as soon as I left school, I went for NYC for a bit. I didn't really do NYC that. But then I would say I started maybe like 2011, 2012 with the kaftans and just sewing for like family and friends, literally begging them to trust me, like, I can try. My friends, hi guys, I use them for experiments, my sisters, and they all let me use them for experiments, so which was lovely. But then I would say about 3 years in.
Wow. So you are really passionate about the business, because it's only passion that can let you continue doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it without earning, without glowing, really.
The one thing that drives me, the one thing that drives me is passion. Anybody that knows me personally and knows me with my business, they know that I am driven by passion. They know that I extremely love what I do, because I have seen it all in this business. I've seen things that would say, you know what, hands up, I'm not doing this shit again. But like, I really can't, because of how much I love fashion. So yeah, I'm so passionate about it. I've always said it. I am passion driven. I have never been money driven, although the money is good. You get what I mean?
Right. You got that right.
At the end of the day, it's the passion that drives you. Imagine if you start a business of today, you're not making money in the next 3 years, and you're like, you know what, hands up, I'm going to move on to the next thing, when your breakthrough was just around the corner. So yeah, I always advise for people to be passion driven over money driven. Not saying that you should make a loss continuously, but you should also not be in a rush.
Yeah.
It takes time.
Talking about that dress, this breakthrough dress, you know, and breakthrough design, most importantly, how did you feel when you started seeing people copying you left, right, center? Like,
oh my God. Like from that one, because that was my first breakthrough design. It hurt me. I would, but I'm not dramatic. I'm not one of those people that will call out people on Instagram and say, oh, don't steal my design and stuff like that. At some point, for some reason, fame kind of, it came to me fast after that breakthrough design. So I was able to navigate that. I was becoming a pioneer, and people saw me as something big. So I was able to take credit for it, like, okay, it's because I am good that people are copying me. But at the same time, it hurt my feelings because it was hurting my account. I mean, after creating this thing from scratch, from my head, and then, or from a mistake, and then someone else is easily taking it and gaining money from it, while I'm still here trying to make people buy and things. So yeah, that hurt me, but it didn't really last. I didn't let it get to me too much. I just kept doing what I was doing, and most of them were getting it wrong anyways.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, another question I have is, how was your first 5 years in the fashion industry, and how has your last 5 years also been in the fashion industry? So can you describe it? Was there a difference? Has the industry improved? You know, what has been your experience?
So my first 5 years, I mean, coming into this business, I was a complete novice. So it went from being in love with fabric to boom, having a business. So I was one of those people that grew on my journey. Like I knew I everything I learned on my own. I learned from my staff, and I also learned from YouTube. I have a funny story regarding one of like my beginning stages. So I had, after I had told my parents to set up the one machine, one table and all, I had one staff. She came in as an apprentice, thinking that she was learning from someone, not knowing that I didn't have that much knowledge. So basically what we would do is, if she has to cut like a pencil skirt, my style has always been snatched waist. Like, you don't have to breathe in your dress. But some people want to breathe, for me, you don't have to breathe. So like, I know for sure, like, I want the curves out, and the way you would cut it, I would see it just from common sense. So I would advise her, like, oh no, don't cut it like this. And she thought I was teaching her. But what will happen is, after she leaves every day, I would practice what she had done. And that was how I gained basic knowledge on cutting and sewing, so I bettered myself. But it's almost impossible. A lot of people here will say, I get questions from, oh, do I need to know how to sew and stuff? I practically learned on the job. I practically learned on it. And to be honest, I really don't enjoy sewing, but it's just good to have the basiest or basic knowledge that you can possibly have. So yeah, the first 5 years it was a struggle, but it was a nice one, because I was very in love with what I did. So I was willing to walk 1,000 miles, go to the market, sit down there from morning till night, interact with people that I never thought I would be able to interact with, have conversations with my staff, you know, like, it was so good. But as time went on, when I became big, you know, being a millionaire at a certain age, like age 20, 21, and stuff like that, and then it just gets in your head, because like I said, I didn't know so much about structure. And also when it became a business, and I had to now realize that customers need to be impressed, you can't not answer customers' calls on time. People will get upset. Even if you are busy, you cannot, some customers don't want to hear that you are busy. So all of that took a toll on me. And the end of the last 5 years, it was still blissful, but I was more of getting things right. At some point, I would struggle with the love I have for it, because of stress or falling ill or one thing or the other. So yeah, but I would say there has been an absolute change and improvement in fashion industry. A lot of young people are coming up now. A lot of young people know what they are doing. Not everyone is just out there copying people anymore. Nigerian fashion business, they are doing so well and fantastic. So yeah, it has improved from when I started till now. It has done so well, and it's just going to keep getting better.
Okay, fantastic. So did you ever have any mentors or sponsors on your journey? And who are some of your favorite fashion designers as well?
Okay, so sponsors and mentors, no, I didn't. I was so shy that I was so shy. Like, even if I met people and they would say, "Oh, call me," I would never, because I just feel like you're so big and busy. So what would I say that you would probably like understand and all? So yeah, I actually never had a mentor or a sponsor. Everything I did from scratch was from that. Regarding sponsorship, was from that list I wrote for my dad. We made our money all through. Regarding mentorship, no, I was never bold enough to ask someone to be my mentor. But one of my favorite designers is Larry Da Silva Ajayi, and I've met her. She knows my work. In fact, when she told me that she knows my work, I was so happy. So yeah, she's amazing. Yeah, she's one of my favorite Nigerian designers.
Fantastic, fantastic. Okay, so I have known you and your friends, all the way from back in the day from university, and you guys are loyal. Like, when I think about people who had friends in university, I think of me and my friends, and I think about you guys, you and your friends as well. So, and in fact, two amongst those your friends are big influencers in the fashion industry, which is the industry you obviously play in. So, do you think that do you think that your relationship with your friends have actually helped you, get bigger or get better in the industry? And what do you think is the importance of relationships or collaborations when you're coming up in any industry? So, for example, I see that you and Ini. So when Ini was just starting out in the black media or acting in her acting career, even Mimi, when Mimi was starting out in her media in the media industry as well, I would see them, they would always wear your outfits and they'll be looking peng, and then they'll say, okay, this dress was made by Fablin, by Jerry, and all of that. So, and then too, they're also looking good, and I'm sure you were also giving them those outfits at a discounted rate. So, and all of you just leveraged your relationships and your friendship and all that to grow each other's careers. So how important do you think it is to be able to have this kind of, because at the time everybody was still growing. In fact, we're all still growing. You understand? Yeah. So how important do you think it is to have somebody like this? Because I've noticed another person or another duo like that in another industry, like Anita Browse and Toke Makinwa, for a long time. Even Mimi and
Flawless by Jane.
Yeah, Flawless. Yeah, exactly. Mimi and Flawless Faces by Jane. I know that they have that sort of relationship where Mimi always has always wears her makeup, and always she always does Mimi's makeup. So as Mimi is growing in the industry, she's also growing in her own visibility and all that. Can you talk to me about collaborations and how people can leverage collaborations to better their businesses?
Yes, so I would say something from my journey at first. When I first started up, I mean, even after, before the signature dress, so I sent a couple of emails to a bunch of people that were in the industry back then, like introducing my brand and telling them I would like to gift them some of these outfits. I think I sent a bunch of messages to like 7 people. And some people messaged me saying, oh, it doesn't fit my aesthetics. Some people messaged me saying outrightly no. And then some people said, oh, yes, send it. So initially, that was the path I thought I would have needed to take. And then after a while, my friends, we got to know, they had more clarity on what they wanted to do. Mimi and Ini had gone to New York Film School, and they had come back. And at that point, I think I dropped one collection with 5K shop, and Mimi's like, oh, can I have this I have an interview, can I have this for my interview? And I said yes. And then from there, the signature dress came up. She's like, oh, I need to have this. And then Ini was already gaining ground in her in the movie industry as well. And it's so easy to work with them. So because I never really created a collection after the one I did for Fat Facial. So if I had a new idea, they are my friends. They will not break my head. So it was easier to produce those pieces for them to model. So it's a situation where we sit down, we have a round table. Okay, this is what the design is, and then we discuss. It's so easy to discuss with them and bounce off of each other to share. Okay, you know what? I'm more popular, so let's do this, let's do that. So it was way easier. And then we just found out that all three of us started to grow from fashion designer to being to being in the media and to also being an actor. Everybody, like, my name started to be out there. Their business, their brand started to grow as well. So I was very lucky. And like I said initially, when it comes to growing relationships, it doesn't come easy for some people. Like, if those people were not my close friends, I don't know exactly how it would have worked. But I'm just glad that I had the grace of having them as my friends, and all our brands grew up together. So I also want to say that if you're not, it's very important to create relationships. But if you're not one of those that find it easy to do, like the real me, I think you should just let your work speak for yourself. Because even the people that I sent emails to, mind you, that said no, and it was not in their aesthetics, now they're in my email.
Yep.
You get, so now
People like to associate themselves with success.
Do you get? I can do my pick and choose and say, oh, nope, I'm not styling you. Nope, I remember what you did 5 years ago. I'm not styling you. I can be like that. So things like that, yeah. So if it doesn't come easy for you to create relationships, I think just let your work speak for you. And it's also not bad sending some of these icons a message. As a bunch of them will say no, but that one person will say yes, and you never know what can come out of that person saying yes. So just keep doing what you do. Email a bunch of people that you like their style. And before you send dresses out, I want to say this from being friends with people in the industry. Before you send dresses out to people, make sure that you look at their style and make sure that what you are sending to them actually fits their style, not just yours. Because you can send things that actually look nice to you, but that person has never worn anything like that before. And
I swear, what you just said is so important. I know someone sent me a denim dress one day. I was weak. I said, a denim dress? Like, that is so or a flowery dress. You've lost
you get. You need to make sure that what you are sending the person actually flows with style, so that your dress is not another piled up outfits in their wardrobes, and then you'll now be wondering, am I not good enough? Why didn't she wear my dress? Why didn't she wear my dress? Instead of just look at their style. And yeah, as much as possible, if you can form relationships with other big brands that are willing, fine. If not, just do your thing by the grace of God and with your hard work and your designs. I focus so much on myself. I don't care what is going on around me. As long as it works for me, I built my personal brand, my business based on my personal self. And that has worked for me even before anybody else came along. So yeah. It's okay if you can't form relationships, that's fine.
No, I think people should actually build relationships, because some people gonna say, oh, Derry said, oh, it's okay.
Oh no. So my angle is build relationship, but for some people that it doesn't come easy to, don't be too hard on yourself and now feel like you have to go and force that relationship by force, and then you not become a pest to the person. So like build relationships that come easy.
Focus on your value, and then
focus on your value. Don't sell yourself short in the name of trying to build a relationship with someone that you think will take your brand higher. That's my own. But relationships are very important.
Yes, thank you for that. So another question I wanted to ask you is, were you always the smartest kid on the block? You know, what is your take on being book smart or street smart? You know, what is your take? You know, some people believe that they have to be super intelligent, they have to be coming first in class, you know, things like that.
So, regarding books, to be honest, I'm always honest. Like I say, as much as people ask me, I hated school and books. So I was one of those people that would read to pass, and as soon as I finished reading, I've forgotten. I studied management information system, and it was about it had like coding. It had coding and
programming.
Business. Yeah, programming and business. So I enjoyed the business part of it, but the coding part, I would cram code in my head. So whatever they tell us to code is whatever I've crammed in my head, I'm going to write back to the teacher. Whether you like it or not, if the result is the same, that's the coding business. But yeah, now that I am at the age and stage I am in, I I mean, I learn on my own now. So now I learn exactly what I want to learn. In the sense, like if I need to, when I needed to gain knowledge about structures, I did courses on it. I had a business consultant that was coming in at that time. And then, I mean, I'm still seeing one right now because you never stop learning. So yeah, it's also good for you to, whatever knowledge you have in school, is good for you. If you can incorporate it into your business, that's fine. Like I studied programming. If I heard what my lecturer was saying, maybe I'll be creating my own website and not having to give someone money to build it for me. But yeah, it's also good to be street smart, because you know exactly what is out there. You know what the people want. You are giving them what people want. You are able to relate with your staff. Like, you don't look at me because I'm speaking English. Like, you know how to give it to them, because people are going to test you. Like, customers are going to test you. The times are going to test you. So you need to also be able to, you need to also know when and what and how to come in the time and the phase of your business. As a fashion person, you need to know the colors that is in style. You need to know what people are wearing, and I don't think you learn all of that in school. So you need to know like what people are wearing. You need to know how to combine colors, like the colors that work for color blocking, different things. Like, you need to learn all of that. So yeah, both of them go hand in hand for me. But to be honest, I do not like school. No, I did not listen to to be very honest. But I only wish I got a bit of the programming part. But I don't even know, to be honest. I don't mind. Anyway, as long as what I did was I learned on my own. I figured out the things that I needed to do and the things I needed for my business to grow the way it has grown. And I put that into practice from learning. I learned, like I said earlier, I learned cutting and all of that on YouTube. I would play some things on how to create setting patterns and stuff like, but I even learned from my staff. So basically, yeah, it goes hand in hand. If you're not the smartest person in school, doesn't mean you're not going to be a billionaire. Look at all the people that dropped out of school and look at where they are now, like Bill Gates, all those people. So yeah, doesn't really, but if you can balance it up, fine. If not, it's okay too.
Okay. Fantastic response. Okay, so building a fashion brand in Nigeria is not funny. And I know this because I have a kids fashion brand, Philos and Zoe, and it has been a nightmare, especially when you want to produce locally. So I said, that time there was a made in Nigeria craze, and I was like, I want to start making my stuff locally. And I know that my own calling is not necessarily in the fashion designing. My own calling is more in the sales. So I was like, okay, you know what, let's go there. Let me look for like a garment manufacturer. Let's get this done and all of that. And then I went on and I got a garment manufacturer, and I gave them my designs and everything. And trust me, the first batch, I probably lost almost 5 million naira. Just because, like they'll make something, let's say it was somebody that was 4 years old. It wouldn't even fit a 2-year-old. Or the age 4 and age 2 would be the same. Like, it was really, really hectic, and I lost so much money before I now gave myself brain to look for an alternative way of getting stuff done for my brand. So how has it been for you working with artisans, and making your stuff or everything in Nigeria? How has it all been for you?
So I mean, this artisan thing, it's a prayer point, to be very honest, because no matter how good you are as a person, as a designer, as a creative, by the time you give your work to another person, whatever that person likes to create is what they will create. So I still said this story today. I talked about how, before I go into the main point, let me just say this, like, I have a tailor, and then they've been producing this design. They've produced over 20 of it. And then you just give them one more to make it 21, and that's the one that they will decide to mess up. And you'll just be wondering, like, yo, have you not been making these dresses? So what is the problem? They have no excuse. So for me, working with artisans and working with staffing is a major issue in Nigeria for everybody. But what has helped me is I am invested in my staff, and I not like I appeal to the emotional side, but the way I am with people around me is the way I am with my staff. So they know that when it's time to work, it's time to work. And before you work for me, you have to go through training. Like, you have to train to become up to my standard. You cannot just come from wherever, because these people, they come and say, I've worked here, that's your business. But you have to train to the standard that I want you to be. And then when you are up to that standard, then you become a staff. And I put in place sanctions. So you fill a contract before you sign it, and the contract states every single thing that you're going to do and every single thing that you're going to need. And I tell you before, so you either agree to it or you don't. So by the time you agree to it, you know that if you come late to work, you are paying a fine. If you destroy a customer's clothes, you're paying a fine. If you talk back at people, you're paying a fine. So by the time all of that came into play, they were able to sit up. I mean, this was after I had gone through Wahala with them, until the first business consultant came in and saw my struggles. That was when my first training with her was when she advised me about structure and putting these sanctions in place. And it has worked so far. And also because of my health, I had so many staff. I had a supervisor, I had an assistant, I had a storekeeper, I had an in-house store person, just because I wanted to take a bit of stress off of myself, so that at least whatever comes to me would just be created. It wasn't the wisest idea. So if you don't do that, that's fine. If I have time, I'll still speak on that. But like, I just
no, we have time. Don't worry. If the phone cuts off, we'll come back. So normally takes 2 hours. So we have time.
That's fine. I thought we had 1 hour. So yeah. Regarding artisans, before you work for me, before you employ anybody, I would advise that you train them up onto your standard, because hands, especially when it's tailoring, they come in hands differently. So if you have a head tailor, someone that understands your design the most, you have that person train the remaining staff, or I train them myself in the sense that, okay, this is exactly what I want. This is my finishing process. This is what I do. The day you don't do this thing exactly how you have seen it, then it means that you're not willing to work with me. And they have their sanction book. They know exactly how much they're going to take. So some people, when they do wrong or when they misbehave, they know that their money is going to be taken out. So some of them, they already do it with the heart of they know. Then some people, they come and beg like, oh, please, it wasn't intentional. But I am very strict on my sanctions, because the day I have mercy on one person, the rest of them will come in asking for mercy. So it's not like I'm not human. I'm still very helpful with them, like their family. I appeal to them. Like we speak, they can message me about whatever needs they have. Or sometimes I can just decide to help their family on my own accord. But when it comes to business and when it comes to work, you have to do exactly what you have to do. And if you don't, you're playing with your money.
Bless you.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And regarding sewing in Nigeria, I mean, I always think of producing outside the country, but for me, because I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, so I know that I need to see exactly what is being produced. I need to see what is being produced. The only time I'm unable to do that is maybe if I'm ill or in hospital, or I'm unavailable or something, but I need to see it. So when you produce one piece, I need to have a look. I need to okay it. Either I okay it or my supervisor okays it before they continue with the remaining production.
Your legacy.
Yeah, one of the things that is important for me in sewing is, I know a lot of people here follow me and they know my brand. I particularly like classic designs. I like designs that you can wear any time of the year. I have people still sending me pieces that they got from 2015. They've worn even bridesmaids dresses. So yeah, I want to be known for that person that created timeless pieces, and also relatively affordable. Because I remember, I'm not able to, it's growth, but I'm not able to take myself away from the way I started. And I know how hard it was for me, and I know how hard it was for people. So I want to be able to produce stuff that people can buy and people can wear. I don't like, as much as it's structured, I don't like too much. I don't like all over the place. So timeless pieces, I want to be that designer that would forever make timeless pieces.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so now I can ask you this question. So,
what is this question?
Okay, so tell me about some of the challenges that you have faced growing your brand. So I know that, like you've even mentioned, during this session, you said, something about your health and stuff, growing your brand, how you had to hire different people for different reasons. Those reasons, or those people could have been those roles that they were playing. You maybe could have done them. So tell me why. Take me through that journey of how you have been able to grow your brand, and talk about some of those challenges that you faced on the way.
Okay. So, some of the challenges, apart from the regular staffing and some like not being able to interpret your designs as much as you have, and also getting yourself out there and all of that. I would speak on the generic issues that we all face, but I'm also very special in the way like I deal with the health condition. So you know how you have seamless seamless journeys, like in your body, maybe you probably just have malaria and all of that. For me, it's a lot, it's like 20 times worse. So in the office, I can be in the office this minute, and next minute I'm waking up in the hospital because I have passed out from one thing or the other and stuff like that. So like for me, one of the major challenges I've had was I've never seen it as a challenge. Instead, I've seen it as a form of growth, has been my health, because it's unpredictable. You can be very fine this minute, and then the next minute I'm landing in the hospital, and I'm in the hospital for weeks. I'm unable to handle business. I'm unable to handle stuff. And yeah, so that was one of the reasons why I had to get all these people in charge so they can handle things for me when I'm away, when I unexpectedly have to be in the hospital. But I'm also one of these people that even in hospital, in pain, crying and all of that, I'm still calling, so how is work? And sometimes they have to seize, most times they have to seize my phone from me just to get better and all. So yeah, that has been a challenge for me in a way. I've never admitted it, to be honest. This is the first platform that I'm admitting it. But it has been a challenge. I have people message me asking how I do it, like young people with the same condition, because they probably they can't navigate their lives. They don't know where to start from, and they want to know where my strength is from. To be honest, this challenge, the only thing and the only person that has been able to bring me out of it has always been God. Because days when I'm down and out and I can't do anything, and then all of a sudden He gives me strength and I'm able to go back to work, and almost like nothing happened. My workers will be wondering, like, this madam, please just stay at home. And I'm like, nope, I'm going to come to work. I'm going to do this. So yeah, that has been a bit challenging, but God has been able to lift me up above of it. I've been able to rise over every single hurdle regarding my health, and so yeah, that's a major challenge because it has affected certain things I want to do. Sometimes I need to travel. Sometimes I need to go to places and I can't because I'm either sick in the hospital. And I mean, people don't know this. So, like I said, the only time I'm not able to access or to what's that word now? I'm not able to look directly at what my staff what they are doing is when I'm in hospital, and it's a lot more than people would think. It's reoccurrent. It's reoccurrent.
And it's funny that people don't really know that there are people are actually human beings. Even business owners are actually human beings that can go through challenges, and then they're sitting there and they're thinking, oh, I want to be like this person. They don't even know some of the challenges that you're facing, or you might be in hospital and then somebody's calling and say, where's my dress? You've been with my dress for 2 weeks. You've not delivered the dress, and they don't even know.
I've had someone tell me, so the last time I was ill, really ill, when we made the harsh decision to close down, I don't reply to my DMs on a normal. It's my policy because we can't keep up with orders via DMs. We need you to send us a message, an email or something. So I was in hospital, probably receiving oxygen or something, and this lady has sent like a message. She was very mad, and I explained to her like, oh, it's not I sent her my staff number, the person that is attending to the dresses at the moment, and I said, oh, I'm sick in hospital. And she said to me, like, I don't care if you're in the hospital. That's not my business if you're in the hospital. And I remember that day I cried so much because I was so sad. Like, what or how much could this person actually have paid for this dress? And the funny thing is, I've been in the hospital way before, so I didn't even know about her order. I didn't know her order. I didn't know what she was talking about, to be honest, because I was already in hospital. I was in hospital months before that, so I didn't know what she was talking about. I just tried to tell her, okay, speak to this person. I'm in hospital, so I cannot. And she said to me directly, I don't care if you're in hospital. I don't care whatever is wrong with you, and blah, blah, blah. And I never spoke to her again after that, to be very honest. I was very hurt. I was very sad. And I'm just like, this is very unfair. You cannot speak to people like this because of what. Normal me, I would have asked, please, can you kindly send me your account number to refund your money? But I was even too weak to do that. So compassion in this my business, a lot of people lack it. A lot of people have it as well, but a lot of people lack it. They don't even want to know that anything can be wrong with you as an individual. They just want whatever it is that they ordered from you to be perfect. And so, yeah, we try, even without me being there, we try, but nobody's perfect. There's still sometimes when a little adjustment will be needed. You just need to hold the waist or hold the hip, and they're already flaring out and calling names and not trying to figure out like, oh, you're speaking to a human being. So that's one of the downsides of this business. And me, I am not proud, but I particularly do not like it when people speak to me in rude ways, because I would never approach anybody in a rude way. So if you're rude to me from the beginning, I take myself out of the equation. No matter what it is, I just I have a long trail of people anyways. I let the trail of people deal with you, but you are never going to see me again, because I can't handle you being rude to me, regardless of whatever it is. So yeah, that's one of the major challenges. Well, I mean, the generic challenges in the business is staffing, dealing with customers, meeting up deadlines. I always say to people, if a customer comes to meet you and tells you, I want my outfit in 3 days, and they offer to pay you the wall, but you look at your calendar and you're like, oh, I cannot make this happen, except if like my staff, blah blah blah. And then if that is your story, please don't take that order, because what's going to happen if you disappoint the customer is you're going to lose one customer, and that one customer is going to make sure that she spreads the entire wall. She spreads it around the wall, telling people how much of a disappointment you are. So instead of putting yourself in the point of taking these orders where when you know that you cannot meet up, just say no. Another thing that is, if you know that they bring to you, integrity is one thing that is important to me. Even from when I started off, I would say to you, I cannot produce another Nigerian designer's piece. I would never, and I would not. No matter what, I've gotten insults from this. People have insulted me because of this. People have called me names. People have said I'm rude. People have said I'm proud. That is because I'm a celebrity designer, that's why. But I stand to my ground of, I am not going to make it for you. I'm so sorry. Kindly go to the person that made it. And that's integrity. And as much as people have gone, a lot more people have come because of that. If you tell someone that, okay, bring this person's design, I can do it, you don't know the intricacies of that design. You only see the front. You don't know how the inside was sewn. You don't know how the details went. You can just do a guesswork. And at the end of the day, when you don't produce it to the taste of the customer, the same customer that came to beg you, saying, just try now, is it not puffy hand? Is it not just slant? The same customer will put the dress side by side and say what I ordered versus what I got, forgetting that they begged you, forgetting that they were scrubbing on the floor, crying and begging you to do this. So let your integrity speak for you. As much you are a creative, you are a designer, you know what you can produce and what you cannot produce. As big as people say I am, if you send me, if it's an international design, you send it to me, I tell you, give me a minute, I go and create my own piece out of that and tell you this is what I can offer you, to be very honest. And a lot of people, they are even happier with what I produced than what they have brought. So it's always that case, because if you tell them, oh, I can produce it, I know what this person did, and you now find out along the line that you don't really know, it will be sad calling the customer, telling the customer, oh, I thought I could, but I actually can't. The customer will insult your life and go and put you on blast on Instagram. So from the beginning, tell them, I can't do this, but I can do this. Out of what they have brought, you can produce something else. Do you understand? So yeah, your integrity is very important. Challenges I faced is not wanting to create other people's designs and people cussing me out because of that. Also staffing, sourcing. I've talked about how I dealt with staffing. They go through a particular training that is compulsory, and they have sanction fees and all of that. Then sourcing fabrics is also a problem. for Nigerians, for people in Nigeria. So what I do is I buy my fabrics in bulk I buy my fabrics in bulk. Sometimes I even buy fabrics from Tejo Shoe, or I buy directly from my source brings it directly from Aba, which is fine. Almost every Nigerian designer does that. And if it has to be important, if it has to be one of those, what I'm talking about now is like ready to wear and stuff. But if it's like your...
The phone is going to cut off now. So I wanted to just say that if it cuts off, guys, we're still going to be here. So please come back. We're going to take another hour. I still have like 3 questions before we take questions from the audience. I know that I've seen a couple of questions already, but when we come back, if you've been regular on Untold Stories of Failure, you would understand that we do this all the time. And then 1 hour, you know, I question her and ask her questions and stuff like that. And then we come back, you know, for questions from the audience. So please come back, and don't forget to follow us on AGS Tribe once this phone cuts off. So guys, oh, you already sat down. Okay, so guys, please come back. You know, I've had so much fun. I've learned a lot from Derry, and when we come back, we'll take the rest of the questions. So see you guys in 2 minutes or even less. All right, see you guys. I remember a day someone told me I think I had a vision boarding session, and someone was like, Ife, you know, Derry's not feeling well, and I was like, she's not feeling well, and I was like, oh my gosh. So I called you. I'm sure you remember that I called you and I was like, you know, I'm coming to see you and stuff in the hospital. And, you know, just when I was there, like even when I got there, I just started crying. I was like, you know, obviously not in front of you because I didn't want you to start feeling, you know, bad or anything. And I got there, I just started crying. I was like, oh my gosh, like why, what is happening? Why do people have to fall ill? You know, I understand that you are a business owner, you have your business. How are you going to, you know, cope with, you know, not being, you know, at your, you know, office and all of that. I started thinking about different things and how, you know, in Nigeria, the healthcare system is really, really, I don't know, tough, especially even now with everything that is going on with COVID and everything. So when I hear things like, oh, people don't really have compassion when people are ill, and sometimes you cannot tell everybody your problems, you cannot really tell everybody that you're not feeling well. You know, at the end of the day, there's no need to even explain. Yeah, sometimes you're even too weak to even explain to anybody. Even me, I know one time I was ill and somebody came to come and see me in the hospital, and she was like so, a customer, she came to come and see me in the hospital, and I was like, man, this baby doesn't ever have a fear of God. She came to come and see me in the hospital. So sometimes, you know, it's tough. It's tough building a business, especially if you know that, you know, sometimes, you know, you can fall ill, and sometimes customers might not understand it. You might not even get the chance to explain, you know, any of those things. So do you think that your health in any way has affected any of your friendships or anything like that?
Well, firstly, I have amazing friends. They are like, I always say, like, I have the best friends because they are supportive, they're amazing. Like, they put my matter on their head. So it's a situation where even if I complain to them about somebody's behavior, even if I complain about if I complain about somebody's behavior towards me, I know a particular person that is ready to put it on their head. If it's possible for her to go and beat up those people, like, she would. And they would. They've just always been supportive. Even when I'm ill and I cannot handle stuff, they always put me to check. They always make me, they try their best not to make me feel like I'm missing out on anything, because there's certain times I can't go out with them because of one or two wahalas and things like that. But they always make sure that I'm not missing out anything. They always put me up to speed with everything. And so, and they pray for me a lot. So no, my friendships have not been affected by anything. But my business, I'm like I said, I'm a go-getter. Even as I may be in pain, I may even be in pain in the presence of the customer, I wouldn't say anything. I always fight through. Sometimes my mom is worried about me. My mom like everybody around me is worried. Derry, stay home. Derry, stay home. You can't do this. Derry, just stay home. And I'm like, nope, I'm going to go to work. And sometimes I end up in the hospital. And everybody be like, you see, we told you to stay home. But anyways, I do my best. I put my 100% into it. The only time I'm unable to walk is if I'm actually unable to walk. If I have a bit of strength in me, I can move from point A to point B. I will go to work. towards the end of last year, when I started feeling really ill and it was getting bad, I would go to the office and lie down in the office. I would be sick, in pain in the office, but I would just make sure I go to that office. Even if I'm unable to function, at least they come and meet me. Oh, this is what we did, this is what we did. I would still go to the office. It was until it got really, really bad and I couldn't move and I couldn't function. I literally couldn't breathe anymore. That was when I stopped. So my health, the only way it has affected me is not being able to supervise to the best way that I would want to. Like I said, I'm almost a perfectionist. So I would love to see exactly, I would love to see exactly what they're putting on my customer, because I don't like to see pictures and be shocked. So even as I'm in the hospital, they must show me a video, they must show me pictures of it on a mannequin or during fittings. I'm silently present during fittings or something like that. But yeah, it's been 50-50 to be honest, because I cannot be there as much. I cannot, at some certain points, I cannot be there as much as I want to be. And so I'm having feelings of, oh God, what is going on? Why am I here? So like I used to go through all of that before, but then I got used to it and all. So my supervisors, my personal assistants, my creative assistants, all of them, I trained them in a way that they could function without me. Although they disappointed me towards the end of them before I finally closed my business, because the last time I fell ill, it was the worst. Like it was the worst, not the worst, but it was one of the worst so far, because I had like a respiratory issue. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe on my own. I couldn't take 2 steps without losing breath, and also that was it. It was major, and when they called me, at that point I'd already left instructions with my staff. I was so detailed, even as I knew that I was going to the hospital. I'd already written out every single thing that you need to do, every single thing that needed to be done, and everything that needed to be done basically. But I don't know, even with all the training in the world that they had, I was still getting calls on the hospital bed. I was still getting people complain to me, and at that point, so with the respiratory issue I had and the pain in my lungs and the enlargement and all of that, I had low blood pressure, and they were really scared because it wasn't even going up to normal. It was getting lower. So as that was happening, they felt like it was because of the constant calls, and I was always getting agitated. Sometimes I'm feeling like, oh, I dropped this thing. Why are you guys behaving like this? I told you exactly what to do. What is it? Sometimes they would even come to the hospital to be asking me stupid questions. So the doctor, it was one of the most painful things I ever had to do. I think this is one of the questions. And they sat me down and they said that, Derry, you need to focus on yourself. And I'm like, what do you mean? Because I always thought, I'm a strong person. I know, and my friends will, because they've seen me in pain, and they've seen me, even in pain, they've seen me deliver things. And I'm like, no, that I don't need to. That don't worry. When I get out of here, I will sort it out. They're like, Derry, you are not getting better. I'm like, no, it's just a matter of time. Like, I mean, this is normal. They're like, no, this is not normal. Like, max in the hospital, you will do 2 weeks. You've been here months. Like, you cannot, I'm so sorry. We love you. We know you love your business and all, but you need to take a step back. And it was hard. So I called myself. I'm like, you guys, can you guys handle these things? And they said that they can. So I still gave them another 2 weeks, and it was just worse. So I just had to listen to what the doctors were saying to me. I remember crying for weeks. I remember crying. My mommy would just be looking at me in the hospital. My mommy would just be looking at me and saying, "Derry, it's not the end of the world. You're going to come back stronger." Because I had fears of, okay, I now started to think of people that have taken breaks from fashion industry and have come back. All the people that were coming to my head, they struggled to come back. And I'm just like, what if? My mom is like, Derry, your business is fantastic. Nobody, like, no matter what you do, you have to be healthy to do this thing. You cannot think only of you can not only think of producing now. And I thought to myself, she's like, okay, if they continue to work and people keep complaining, by the time you get better, how many customers would you have? How many customers would you explain to that you were in hospital? And I'm like, okay, you know what? For me, it's not just about chiming pieces. It's not just about money entering into my account and then customers being unhappy with what they get. So I said, everybody, pack your bags and go home. When I get better, we will do this thing called fashion. This thing called fashion is my life, but for now, I'm unable to physically handle it because I felt, and one of the things that also happened to me was I felt like my body had failed me. As much as I used to fall ill back then from being young to being old, I have never for once felt like my body failed me. So this time I felt like my body failed me. I felt like everybody around me failed me. I felt like God failed me. I just had so many feelings. Like, this is the only thing I know. I'm not one person that has like multiple businesses, like this business, this business, this business. So even if I'm not doing fashion, I'll do something else. But it was just the one thing I knew, and it's the one thing I love. So I just felt so failed. I felt bad. I felt it was difficult, but I had to accept the reality of things, that if I don't take this time off, I will never get better. And there was nothing I could do, because if I walk from this place to that place, I'm out of breath. I was being wheeled around. I was being carried around in a wheelchair every single place I was going. I couldn't move. I couldn't function. I couldn't do nothing. So I'm just like, you know what? Have your way. And I dealt with that. After a while, after going through the pain and the tears and all of that, I just realized that the only person that can bring me out of this is God. And I had times where I'm like, okay, maybe God did not even want me to do fashion anyways. Maybe I'm the one that carried myself into fashion. And from then, I started building my journey with God. I started talking to Him one-on-one. I met Esther. Esther is from Brooklyn, the Brooklyn session that I had. I built my relationship with God, and then I started to realize, and I started to have this certain peace in me, that there is nothing and there is no one that can separate me from the love of God. And to be honest, one of the reasons why I became before I even put out the news that we were closed, I asked God, like, is this what you want me to do? Because I was confused. I didn't know if to say we're closed for real, we're closed finally, Fablin is over and stuff. And I asked God, like, is this what you want me to do? Like, are you in my business? And I asked Him to show me a sign. Sorry, this has gotten about God, but it's still a part of my journey. I'm like, I want you to speak to me. And I told Him the direct chain that I wanted Him to speak to me. I told Him exactly how I wanted to hear from Him. And the next morning, I had forgotten that I said that prayer. And the next morning, the exact way I said I wanted to find out was exactly what happened. And I was just mind blown, like, oh, God is so mindful of me. So I have this confidence that we were closed. I mean, we're coming back, and we're coming back with a bang. Like, people are not even ready. I've started designing again. I'm excited. I'm happy and all of that. But, like, I got that confirmation from God that this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. So I am so confident in my time. I'm confident in my choices. In the hospital, we did so many tests. They couldn't figure out what the problem was. They just knew, like, I had issues with my lungs. They knew that it was a lot. They knew there was something. And so, like, all of that first, not knowing. And then it went from that to immediately after, like, at some point when I came to terms with everything that was going on, when I accepted, I drew closer to God. I started having conversations with Him. It went from that to me just feeling fine. My appointments, when they finally let me go from the hospital, I was going into the hospital every day. From that, all of a sudden, they started saying, oh, I could just come once in a week. Okay, from once in a week, it went to, okay, maybe you just come once in 2 weeks and all of that. And still, some of the tests I did, the results have not even come out. But I just feel so good in my body. I'm strong. All the things that I couldn't do back then, I'm doing all of that now. And my mind is refreshed. I'm able to design again. I'm also, in this period of wait, I also decided to make myself better. So I started seeing another business consultant. And God was so faithful. Like I just had people wanting to help me left, right, and center. So like I'm seeing a business consultant here. We've discussed all the possible problems, all the possible growth, every single thing we've talked about. Like I'm so much better. I've gone from daring the designer to being daring the businesswoman. So like I'm ready for whatever is going to come my way. I'm strong. I'm happy. So I'm just waiting to let you guys have what we have coming. So yeah, I'm so excited about that. And yeah.
Well done. Well done. And I know that your testimony is permanent in Jesus' name.
Amen.
And
Amen.
guys, when she comes back, we're all rushing there with a bang. You know, we're all rushing there. You know,
be ready.
Guys, show her support, show her love. We're going to finish our money on Family by Daring, just so you know.
I'm not taking your
and
money.
just try to solidly behind you in whatever you're doing. We're all going to come and finish all the clothes, all your designs. You'll be tired.
Yeah, I can't wait.
We can't wait as well. Okay, so another question I'd like to ask you is, what has been your happiest moment in the industry, and what has been your lowest moment in the industry?
To me, I have several happy moments, but what makes me the happiest is when a customer tells me how happy they are about their outfits. Like it gives me so much joy when when you go from sketch stage, as much as I've designed clothes and everybody has worn my clothes, up till tomorrow, if I look at it from sketch to finished product and the customer is telling me how happy they are, like it gives me so much. I can't get enough of it. Like there's no getting used to. I'm not used to people saying, oh, Darren, my dress is nice. If they tell me, it's like I'm hearing it for the first time. I'm always so giddy. So it makes me so happy. But one of the happiest moments was when from styling, apart from the signature dress going viral, it was when we had to personally style Omotala for her movie premiere, because we were involved with everything from her. Like we were just involved with her all along, and yeah, we were even with her on the red carpet, not as dress designer, but as her guest. And it was so amazing. Yeah, I had so much fun on that day. Yeah, and my lowest point is still this thing I just explained now, like what I had to come out from in that period, like having to take the decision, agree to shutting down my business. So yeah, that's been my lowest point. But I'm up for me too. I'm not down anymore, because we've heard so many stories of people saying, oh, she shut down because she works with only celebrities and celebrities don't pay. She shut down because of this and that, all those shit. Like we heard so many things, but I'm just going to speak on that one. But yeah, that's not the reason, and it's not because fashion is not profitable. Fashion is so profitable. There's so, like, once you have your books right, you don't you have your structure in place. You know exactly what you're doing with your books. Now, I never used to be the advisor. I didn't know the importance of having an accountant. But now I would say you should have an accountant to check your books. Like every once in a while, get an accountant to check your books. So there's so much money coming in. You just be thinking, oh, I have money. Let me do lavish spending. Like one of the struggles I had when I first started growing, I mean, being a young person and just being a millionaire at that point, I just thought my time has come. I used to buy shoes every week, name brand shoes by myself. I wouldn't even let anybody for me. So that kind of thing. Coming back from that, when I finally realized I had to give myself brain, coming back from that. Oh, and another low point was when we had our Ikeja store. We actually, it got flooded.
Yeah, I remember.
I thought I was going to faint. That was another day that I knew I was strong, because I saw that and I didn't cry. I didn't pass out. I was just shocked. And the aftermath of it was we lost almost everything. We lost fabrics, we lost customers' clothes, we lost furniture, in fact, we lost a lot. To the extent that people, when they started coming back, okay, so this is what has happened. Some people were compassionate. It shocked me how compassionate some people were regarding, okay, don't worry, I understand. But some people, they'd be like, no, give me my money back. And then you now ask them, okay, so how much was the fabric? They will now times 3 it. Do you get? But because we have no receipt, we don't know where you got the fabric from, so we had to refund people like that. So we refunded a lot of people, but we thank God we came back from that as well. So that's I'm confident there's nothing I cannot come back from. You guys don't feel too down about whatever situation you may be feeling. God is on your side. As long as you're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing right with God, you have right standing, everything is going to work out for your good. That's my saying now. Everything is going to work out for my good. I'm very confident in that.
Fantastic. So what is your advice to people who want to go into the fashion industry?
If you want to go into the fashion industry, my number one advice for you is please let your passion drive you. Don't be driven by money, because at first, if you are and you're not making anything in the first few months or first 2 years, then you are going to cancel and move on to the next thing. Don't be don't be money driven, because this money will come, but it's only your passion that will sustain you to the time that the money would come. So keep at it and just keep doing what you're doing, and also keep your integrity. Integrity is one thing that you need to have in the fashion industry. You don't want to be known as just a tailor. You don't want to be known as someone that they can take anybody's designs to, that you probably wouldn't even get. You need to build your integrity and say, this is who I am. This is my identity. I am a designer. I know exactly what I'm doing. I produce things from the scratch, or I don't produce I'm just not a random person. Like, so keep your integrity right. And at the same time, don't be too hard on yourself when you make a mistake. Mistakes will always happen. But don't be too hard on yourself that, oh, you just made a mistake. A customer shouted at you and insulted you, and because of that, you are going to shut down business. I've had someone curse me out for a mistake that I didn't make. For her own mistake, she cursed me. I remember thoroughly crying. Although I cut ties with that person, it's very important, because your sanity is also very important. I cut ties with that person, but I still know what that did to me. But that never stopped me from continuing my business. I just took it as one of those things. Knew that I couldn't have a business relationship with the person anymore. I cut ties. And another thing is, don't be afraid to say no. A lot of fashion people, they're so scared that if they say no, they can't do this, the person will never come back. Don't be too scared to say no. If you say no to one person, it means because maybe you could not produce it, or maybe your time frame wasn't right, and that's okay. So many other people will come. It's better for you to say no to the person because you cannot produce it, and for the person to come back, than for you to disappoint the person, and then the person never comes back and takes away 20 customers with her. Because one bad customer will probably take away like 20 people. Your mental health, you need to make sure that your mental health is in a space of where you, as a creative, you need your mental health. You need your state to be right. You need to know exactly what you're doing, because that's the only way that you can design. If your mind is clouded with this and with that and with this and with that, you cannot be creative. And for young people, if you're just starting up now, it's okay for you you don't have to do anything by yourself. I always advise, maybe you get one person to help you out, or if you feel like you can't afford it still, it's okay for you to do it yourself. Reach out to people that you would love to wear your outfit. If they say no, if 10 people say no, one person will say yes. Don't be shy. Be proud of your craft. Keep doing what makes you different. Don't look at what anybody else is doing. Don't feel, oh, because everybody is working with sequence, I need to work with sequence. I'll do exactly what your brand wants to stand for. Know your identity. Knowing your identity in fashion is the most important thing. Do I want to be known for the person that makes comfy clothes, or do I want to be known for the person that makes snatch dresses and stuff? I feel like when I first started, everybody that came to me, they wanted to be snatched. Oh, I want to be snatched, I want to be snatched, I want to be snatched. Until tomorrow, it's still something people come to me to say, I want to be snatched, I want to be snatched. So create your identity in your brand and just work with it. With God on your side, your hard work, your diligence, and everything will come to traction in your life.
Fantastic. Well done. So I think I've asked you most of the questions that I have. And now we're going to open it up to the floor because it's almost 10:30 and the last hour is really supposed to be for question and answer. So if you guys have any questions, if you look at the bottom, just beside the comment, you see like a tiny Winnie question mark. You can just put in your questions there so that I can just ask Jerry and like put it up and she can see the questions that you have. I saw one. Somebody said, I think it was Tubo. She said, "What if your Sandra?" She said, "What if some people's business model is just copying? So their business they were created to just create replicas. What would you do about that?"
That one, they are gonna. If you look at it, yeah, people that just copy, yeah, they stay on the same path. There's no growth for them. I'm so sorry. No matter how much you say, like, there's no growth for you. You cannot come out and confidently call yourself a designer because people would always call you out. Oh, is this not a Fablin by Dairy design? Is this not a Tubo design? Like, people will always call you out. No matter what money they are paying you, you will still never be confident enough to call yourself a fashion designer. I would say that you can train yourself. If you see a design that you like from another person, you can always add and subtract. At the end of the day, if you look at some of these designs international people are doing, Gucci, LV, you see like there's an element, but there's an element that makes it different. So you can always take away, add your own piece, add. Just keep adding till it becomes your own. You don't have to outrightly take. If you take, you are not a designer. I'm so sorry. You are a tailor. And that's what you are going to be for the longest of time. I'm so sorry for anybody out here. But you're just going to stay a tailor. Your business model wouldn't go past that. And you will never be able to scale. That's it.
Okay. And not everybody's a designer. That's true. Some people are tailors and some people are successful tailors anyway. So everybody has their own, business model. So another question somebody had, I'm sure you can see it. What is the worst celebrity story that you've encountered? So, but keep the name anonymous because we don't want anybody attacking AGS Tribe. Yes. But what is the worst?
What is the worst? It's gone off my head. Oh, there's one particular person. It's not the worst because I've never dealt with her directly. But her stylist keeps coming to my store to come and take things and be like, we're gonna send payments, and they never do once I message them. It's quite embarrassing because like, why do you keep saying this and then you never? But that's not the worst story. I've actually had an encounter with someone that I thought was rude. But the way I've built my brand, and I'm going to say it confidently, I think it's an honor for me to dress any celebrity. So nobody comes at me disrespecting me or expecting me, making it seem like they're doing me a favor. No, but anybody that comes at me like that, that's the end. You are never ever, like, you're not going to wear anything. So everybody comes at me more in the, I have an event I would like for you, and they're thoughtful, they're nice. I still pick and choose who I'm going to style because I particularly do not like styling because I produce from scratch, so I don't particularly like styling. So I don't remember, but I know there's somebody that remind me. I know you're here. I must have told you. There's somebody that really, really pissed me off. I don't just remember the person's name. Oh, she said.
Okay, someone is saying, the next question is, how did you get tailors when you just started? Because I'm scared they wouldn't understand.
Like I said regarding tailors is prayer. It's prayer. When I got my head tailor, he went on and stayed with me for the next 6 years. But when I got him, it was just a young guy that practically didn't know what he was doing. And I trained him to the extent that where he got absolutely perfect. And he became the one that started training everybody else. So regarding tailors, how I got my first staff was I put out a flyer saying tailors wanted. But now I work with agents and they bring in tailors for me outside of Nigeria and I house them, but they have to still go through the training regardless before they can become a full staff.
Okay. Yeah. So let me quickly check for
another question. If you are scared, you can train them to work how you want, like whatever your aesthetics of sewing, everything that goes with your business, you train them exactly how you want them to be. Nobody projects their knowledge on you. You project your knowledge on them because they are working for you.
Okay, fantastic. So someone saying, how do you stay strong on prices?
As my fellow leader here will say, I can see her comments everywhere too, but if you cannot pay the money, you are not my customer. So goodbye. That's it. But I'm even a bit compassionate, me. So when I try not to involve myself in the price price discussion, with cost discussion. But if they happen to catch me, sometimes I may just be walking out and then they will not say, oh, sorry, please, can I see you? Please, we've already agreed, but can you give us a discount? I'm the soft one in the business, so I'm the one that would always say, okay, just take 5% off of it. But like I said, if your work is good enough and it speaks for itself, you don't need anybody to guilt trip you into reducing your price, except you personally feel like you need to. Like I always say, don't sell yourself short because you want to make customers. Because if you sell yourself short, you won't be able to scale, in the sense that if you now decide to increase your price, they will say, are you not the one that used to charge this so price? So why should I pay this? And the funny thing is, they would still go to the designers that charge from 100,000 upwards. They will still go to those designers, but when they come to you, because of how you have reduced your price and everything, they will now be asking you and begging you stupidly to reduce your price even below cost price. So whatever, don't compromise on your price at all. Just make sure that it works for you. If you can give a 5% off, you can give a 2% off, but it has to come from your heart. Don't let anybody guilt trip you. And if the person says you are too expensive, I cannot afford you, okay, thank you very much, we're so sorry, maybe next time, as nice as you can, just say it to the person, but don't compromise on your price.
Okay, someone is asking, what do you think the number of pieces of a startup collection should be?
I would advise 10 pieces. 10 pieces is decent. Well, it can be less than 10, but 10 pieces is decent.
Next question, did you go to fashion school?
I went to fashion school of YouTube.
I love that. YouTube is your friend, guys. Go on YouTube.
Yeah, like YouTube, you can learn anything that you want to learn on YouTube, to be very honest.
Okay. Someone is asking, were there times when you felt like you weren't seen or heard and you felt like quitting? If yes, how did you handle it?
Yeah, I mean, when I first started off, I was so in love with this business. Even when I wasn't making money, I just knew that there was nothing that I wanted to do after this. So no matter what, I kept on doing it. And I would even say the times when I felt like quitting was maybe down the line, when I was already blown. Like maybe the stress was too much or one thing. I'll just be like, this thing is even too tired, and it's too tiring for me. And then I'll come back to my senses and all. So, what I say to myself is, the reason why I don't quit is because the passion is filled in my heart, and because I know that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. If you feel like you are not seen, Instagram is such an amazing tool now. You can advertise your post. You can take advantage of these celebrities now. Send them emails. Send your pieces to them. As long as your pieces, the ones I always say is, create your brand. Let your pieces speak for itself. There are certain designs that someone will see and would always want to have. So don't think of, don't quit. Like, just do everything that you feel like you need to do to make your brand out there, which is continue putting it in our faces, get your friends to model for you. I mean, everybody have different type of friends. Like, you can have a slim friend or you can have a curvy friend. Let that friend become your influencer for now. Take pictures of that person in the outfit, in different sceneries. Let people continue to see your work. Let people continue to see your dress. Even if it's the same dresses, like the same collection, just give them in different styles. Give them in different places. Give them in different areas, in new ways. Just continue. You can do a sponsored ad on Instagram. Send it out to people. As long as it's nice, they're going to wear. You can reach out to some. Some of them are really nice. I know my friends are nice, so I reach out to them, send them an email or a DM that you would like to send them something. But please make sure that it works with their style. so that you won't feel bad if they don't wear your things. Just make sure that it works with your style.
Someone was asking that how do you decide on salary structure?
So for me, initially, I was doing salaries. So I have two aspects of my brand. I have the Fablin by Darien and I have Bloom by FBD. So for Fablin by Darien, it was more structured pieces, detail pieces, corsets, all of this and all of that. So I did salaries for those guys and I would pay them weekly. So it was more like a commission, they were paid weekly. But for my Bloom by FBD, I would do commission for them. So they before they take the job, they see the commission list and they agree to. It's part of the things that they agree to in their terms and condition of working with us. So they sign on that and they are okay with that, and they know that is whatever they produce that they get paid for. So yeah.
Okay, someone is asking, please talk more on fabric sourcing.
Fabric sourcing, in like basic locally, is so fantastic in Nigeria now. We can get what there's nothing that you cannot get in Nigeria, to be honest. Especially now that there's corona. What are we going to do? Like, so fabric sourcing, you can source locally. There's Tejo Show, there's Lagos Market, Balogun. What you can do is go there, create relationships with someone, and then let that person source your fabrics for you. Me, eventually, as time when I became too tired and lazy to go to the market, I had a fabric supplier. So she worked with me. She was resuming at the office every day. She's the one that would go to the market to pick up our bundles of fabrics and bring them back to the office. They would send me pictures of what they had available, and then I would pick the ones I wanted, and they would supply it to me. My fabric storekeeper would go into the office, procurement officer, she would go to the office and she would go to the market and pick it up for me. So you can try Tejo Show, you can try Lagos Market. If you can directly go to Aba. I've never gone, but I know that they used to bring, the people that used to get my fabric for me in Nigeria, they bring it for me directly from Aba. And also, if it's like if it's more of the couture side, I have fabric suppliers that I work with. I just show them what I want and then they get it for me.
Someone is asking that what does it mean to be snatched? You guys, you can forgive him because he's a guy. So maybe that's why I don't know.
What it means to be snatched is if you don't want to breathe in your dress. Like people will look at you and they're like, what waist? Where is the waist? There's no waist in your dress, literally. Like you want to have that figure. So like it was so important to me. That's one of the things that's so important to me. Like for the figure to like for you to see the figure in the dress. So like we make the waist like yeah. So it goes in and then your curves comes out.
So sekwe figure 8.
Exactly, you get it.
In a few words. Okay, so someone else is asking, how did you build up your client base? Oh my God, sorry, it's not hanging. Okay.
No, my battery was. So my client base, yeah. Okay. Like I said, I'm not a relationship keeper. So that's why I was able to bring people on board with me to keep all of that. But I would say most of my client base came from the fact that we were consistent. And we have a lot of returning customers. We have a lot of people that just trust us. They just send fabrics from abroad, anywhere, to us, and they know that we're going to deliver. So I would say I built my client base from building security, giving my customer security, like, okay, we can handle this, we can sort it out. I'm not saying that we didn't mess up with new outfits, but we were always able to come back from it, like I said. So even if somebody is upset, we would apologize if it's our fault. And another thing, before we move on, I just need to speak to you guys on terms and conditions with, I believe that almost everybody here is a fashion person. Terms and conditions for customers, especially for the ones abroad, you need to be able to speak in clear terms what you can offer and what you cannot come out from. Because if you don't, you will find yourself in a hole where you constantly have to refund people. There are people that send in wrong measurements, and they put the blame on you, when in actual sense it's from them. So you need to put in clear terms. Like some things in my, I'm just going to share what some things in my terms and conditions is, fittings. If fittings are not done in the store, customers are liable to adjust their outfits for themselves, because you sent in your measurements, so we cannot take the liability for that. We don't know where you got a measurement done. We don't know what type of measurements, but we always put in allowance. So at least when you get your outfits, you know that you can fix it in and out. Because some people will send in absolutely wrong measurements, and then they will call you and be shouting, and then they expect you to do a refund. I'm sure most young brands deal with that, because I dealt with that when I was growing up. So all the things that I dealt with when I was starting, I knew that I never wanted to go through them again. So I put it in a structure that you have to agree to before we make your clothes. It's okay if you don't agree to them. It means you can take your clothes somewhere else. But if you want a Fabling by Daring piece, you need to agree to our terms and conditions. It's very important. If not, you're going to find yourself apologizing to a lot of people when the fault is not yours. Okay. I'm not saying that if the fault is not yours, you should not apologize about like things like refunding and things like that. Make sure that nobody keeps you in the loop and collects all your money that you don't have.
Mm-hmm. Someone is asking, do you manage your social media page yourself, or do you use a social media manager?
Okay, so for my Fabling by Daring page, if you guys notice that it has a personal feel, because it started off as a personal page, and a lot of people love to relate with me. I didn't want to take that away from them, so I kept it I kept handling that myself. But at the same time, my staff still has access to it. Like when I'm not able to respond or anything, or I'm not able to post, they have access to it. But my other page is handled by one of my staff. She's our social media manager. Yes, that's Bloom by FBD. So, yeah.
Hey, thank you. Someone else is asking, when you mess up those outfits, how do you come back from it? So do you refund them or make another dress?
So if the fault is from my staff, initially, what I do is, firstly, they know that the money is coming out from their pockets, one way or the other. So there are customers that are level-headed and they don't mind taking something else. And then there are some customers that want an outright refund. So if the fault is mine, I would do a full refund, but the tailor, the supervisor, the customer care, everybody that was involved in the dress pays for it. That's the only way that they will sit up. And so, like, when that kind of thing happens, they know that Madam will take our money home. So they can't, like, they were very cautious of that. But yeah, I would say, if the person, it depends on the person you are working with. If the person asks for a refund, you can offer them a new dress. And if the person is still saying no, then you just have no choice but to give them a refund. But place it in your terms and conditions for your staff that if there's an error on a customer's dress from them, they are the ones that handles they handle the fee.
Someone here is testifying, saying that I remember when you made a mistake on the color I chose and you ended up giving me 2 skirts. So that's a good one to have. A lot of people don't really understand that this is all customers want. So yeah. I always say, I used to work in the head office of like Topshop, Topman, and all these companies. I was in the head office. And I used to hear a lot of customers complain. And what used to happen was, let's say they order something, they don't get it in like, let's say they ordered for like 3 to 5 working days and they don't get it in 3 to 5 working days. You know, even if they still get it, but customers will still call and say, oh my God, you charged me, I didn't get it in time. We just click refund. We just give them a refund and customers are happy. Or let's say there's an issue with the dress or an issue with one item out of the lot that they've ordered. You give them a refund on that outfit. You know, some customers, and everything doesn't have to end up in a refund. Sometimes you can offer them something else. But yes, when you show that compassion and you show them that, okay, you really care about what they're saying and you're taking what they're saying into consideration, then they're happy and they would actually come back. There's no company that doesn't get all these calls of, oh, what you did was rubbish. Oh, I ordered what you sent to me was not what I received. You know, sometimes customers even see things differently from what you made. They imagine things in their heads. So sometimes you just have to, they're not mad obviously, but you just have to find a way to make them happy. So for example, we had, let's say, over maybe 200 people on the floor just attending to customers, and those 200 they were all on calls talking to customers per minute. So there was no time that somebody wasn't on a call. So you can imagine, even the bigger brands, no matter how big you get, you still struggle with these issues. So it doesn't matter if customers are angry with you. If you hear people like Coca-Cola, even Nigerian Breweries, all these big organizations, they still deal with customer issues. But no matter what the customer issue is, they sort out the customer, but they still continue advertising, they still continue pushing their brand. They're not crying in one corner, saying, oh my God, this person insulted me on social media.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. They
Always
just press delete.
Yeah,
you
always
have
have
to
to be
continue
strong
being
for social media rants and things like that. You always have to build your heart for that, because no matter what you do and no matter how you try, people would still. For me, for some reason, I always deal with it personally before it escalates to that level. And thank God I've had like level-headed customers that have been kind enough to understand that people make mistakes and things like that. The most challenging.
So someone else is saying, what was the most challenging dress you've ever made?
Anything that you see on Ini is challenging. Anything that because that lady, she's very
your face for that.
Yeah, I don't remember. Oh, sorry, there was a dress we made right before I fell. Right, I was ill at that point, but right before I went to the hospital. So it was I have a picture of it on the mannequin. It was a reception dress that almost looked like a wedding dress. We used over 50 or 60 yards on that dress. I'm just so grateful that the dress came out right. We had to work on it. Yeah, but it came out really nice. But anything that Ini is wearing is challenging. She can hear, so I hope she's hearing me now.
And her waist, like I said, is always snatched. I'm just like, someone here asked that, does Ini even breathe? I'm like,
She does not want to breathe. That's exactly what she tells you before you make it. I don't need to breathe, please.
Okay. So I was saying that you were talking about sourcing. I think you've already answered that, so I wouldn't take you back. So I'm saying biggest celebrity that has supported you and invested in your styles. Who is that? I think that's Ini.
My babes, Ini and Mimi, man. My babes.
Yeah, Ini and Mimi. Yeah,
they are very invested. We have a lot of people as well that tell us they love us so much. So yeah. Well, those are my guys for life.
Yep. Someone is saying what and who inspire your designs?
So I get what inspires me is, to be honest, I'm so weird. I get really lost in things, in conversations, because I'm looking at something that I know that I can create something out of. So I get inspired by anything. Like I could be seeing something right now and I know that, oh, this color match, this color tone is so nice, I can come out with something from it. But most of the times I'm inspired by the customer's body, their body type, and I kind of know what will fit them from just looking at them. So I have an idea what's going to fit them from looking at them. So they inspire me. I mean, every woman is beautiful in her own way. Some people, you don't need to feel some type of way because of your body type or body weight or whatever. I just feel, I always get inspired when I look at my customer. So most times when people come to me say, okay, I have an event, come up with something for me, just from looking at you and having a brief meeting with you, I'm able to pick up your style, I'm able to pick up stuff from you, and creating for you always comes easy to me. And God inspires everything I do, so yeah.
Fantastic. So someone else is asking, in a collection, do you think you stick to a particular type of fabric or textures?
I don't think you stick to a particular type of fabric, but however, your collection has to speak volume. Like it has to have a story, almost like a tone. So even if you want to do solid and you decide that you want to incorporate prints in it, it has to, like the prints that you're using has to flow in a certain way. So I don't think you have to use a particular collection. So even if, so you know how you use prints, don't let it be just one print out of 9 solid fabrics. Like you find a way to make it work, like a few maybe color tones, or like mainly color tones. Make sure the color tones just flow with each other. That's what I would say.
Someone is saying, thank you, AGS Tribe. Sarah Kassim, you better join AGS Tribe. You're saying thank you there, chopping our untold stories of failure. Join our tribe. Derry is a member of our tribe, so join us, girl.
Join AGS Tribe. We have stories for days.
Not just stories, though. We have
Real life
people you can connect with. Yes,
like testimonies.
yes.
We have growth testimonies. It's so fantastic.
Yes, thank you. Someone is saying you want Derry and I to wear, to wear your pieces. Can you send us? Can you? You want to send us pictures? Yes, send. You can send me a picture.
But I'm not going
Choose
anywhere.
your shot.
Corona disappears. I'm in my house till.
Yes, so choose your shot. Let's see your designs. As long as it's not flowery, I'm not into those flowery stuff. So I'm trying to check for more questions.
I can see one saying, did you have access to loans?
Okay,
no,
yeah.
I was very scared of loans initially when I was growing, when I was starting off, and I didn't need one. But I've also learned that it's not every loan is bad. Not every loan is bad. Sometimes you can't get away. You can't come up without help. So yeah, but the only thing with loan is you need to be sure that you can pay back. You need to have all your structures in place. You need to have done your projections. You need to make sure that everything that you're putting in place is fantastic to know that you can pay. Because if you get a bank loan and you miss a date, apparently it's horror. I heard it's horror, like it's horrible. So I would advise
you too make to sleep at night.
Yeah, I would advise more of personal loans rather than bank loans. Like if you have a friend or a family friend that is willing to give you the money, then yeah.
Someone is asking how they can join the tribe. You can join the tribe through the link in our bio on AGS Tribe page. It's 5,000 naira monthly or 50,000 naira for the year. And we have so many amazing opportunities for women, and even the women in the community are powerful. Right now, we have over 1,000 women in the community. So you can imagine the kind of advice and all that's going on in the community. We have so many
women, not just
strong women. So many opportunities coming up, like loans for women, grants for women, things like that. So
I'm the grant hiring.
So join us, join our tribe, guys. Okay, so other questions. What are your hobbies? So someone asked me, what are your hobbies?
I recently started watching TV. I never used to watch TV before, so I just recently started watching TV. I like to dance. My newest hobby. Yeah, I like to dance and chill with friends. I don't really know about hobbies, but I really like to chill with my friends and family. I like to be chilled and comfortable. So as long as I'm with my friends and family, I'm good. But I recently started watching TV, so yeah, watching TV is good.
Someone else is asking, what female leaders do you admire?
Number one is Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama.
Oh yes, I was watching the comedy yesterday, and I was just like, yes.
I've been putting it on hold. I want to watch it when I'm chilled and relaxed, so I'll probably watch it tomorrow. Yeah, but Michelle Obama is one strong person. I absolutely admire her. Then another person that I really admire in the industry is Rita Dominic. I love her style. I love her so much. She's she's fantastic. Yeah.
And we hope she gets to see this so that she can wear your outfit.
I already have plans for her. She's going to wear it.
Yes, we're going to see how we can plug her into this video so she will see it and she'll be like, oh yes. Once you're back, we're going to give her one outfit to wear.
For sure.
Okay, so your friends are saying you're not being honest about your hobbies.
Okay, maybe I like eating as well. So
okay, fantastic. Let me just go through some more questions. We have 5 more minutes. How do we join the tribe? Just join it through the link in our bio. We'll be waiting for you. We're excited to have you. Okay, so someone is saying, please, are there pattern making or sewing books that you would recommend?
I don't have any pattern making books, but what I do is, if I want to gain more knowledge on making a corset or something, I just type that in Google, and I do pattern making for corsets, or pattern making for palazzo pants, or whatever it is. Like, I just always research that, and I save them. I save the videos so I can go back to watching them anytime I like. But I'm not a book person. I actually don't like reading books at all. From what I said about school, I hated school, so I don't like reading books. I would rather watch videos and hear and practice than read books. Books don't work for me.
Fantastic. So someone else is saying, please talk about sizing, taking consideration of the African body. Talk about sizing.
So for me, what I did with my sizing is I use the regular UK size, but then because I know that the African women, we are made differently. Were made differently, so I added a few inches to them, to the sizes. I added, like, for each size, I added 1 inch to the hips, mainly the hips, because we're big around. I mean, we're endowed around the bottom area, so I always add 1 inch. But it's worked pretty well. It's worked pretty well. Another thing with sizing is they can be another designer's size 8, but they are your size 10. So you always have to make sure that they pick their size based off of your chart, not anybody else's chart. So you have to have your own size chart that works for you. So they pick their sizes based off your chart, not somebody else's chart. So they can come and say, but for this designer, I'm a size 6, but our own size 6, but for us, you are a size 8. So please pick our own size 8, because we're not going to use another designer's chart to produce our pieces. So pick our own size, if you get what I mean. Like, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take one more question because we have 2 more minutes. And don't worry, you guys can subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can see this video and other videos as well. You can subscribe to it through the link in our bio. So the last question I will ask, and you can only answer it in 1 minute so that we can end properly. So the person is asking, how did you build your confidence in yourself and your brand, and also when talking to clients about and marketing too? So basically, how did you build your confidence? 1 minute for that question.
I've always been confident, like, personally, growing up myself. I trust myself. I know what I'm doing. And like I said, my brand spoke for me. So, like, my design spoke for me. So, like, if you're coming to me, it's because you've seen something that you like. So you cannot try to downplay my work. So instead, I had a personal confidence in me already. I know I am good. I know that I am fantastic at everything I do. So no matter what it is, we can always talk through it. Like, we can talk whatever it is out. But I just constantly say to myself, I have the mind of Christ. I make the right decisions. I'm strong at what I do. Even if I make a mistake, I come out from it very quick. But I'm very positive. I speak affirmatively to myself. I don't let anybody's opinion of me brings me down. I'm quiet in my own bubble, and yeah, I'm building my brand.
Thank you so much, Derry.
You can message me privately. I'll send you voice notes. I won't type. For the people that I see a lot of questions on here, so you can just message me privately.
Okay. Thank you so much, Derry. You are totally amazing. Thank you so much for sharing so openly all the challenges that you've been through. And it's just to tell people that no matter what challenges you're going through, trust me, you will come out of it. There is always light at the end of the tunnel. Derry has been through so much, but she still keeps pushing. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you. And I'm very honored that you came here today. Guys, please join AGS Tribe community. We're growing and we're a community of amazing women. Join our community. Follow us on Instagram, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel so that we can continue to grow and continue to give you this amazing content. Thank you for sticking with us till the very, very end of this program. I really appreciate you all. Mwah. Bye. And follow me on Instagram.
Bye, guys.
On Instagram, Ifedrosimi Etsy. Thank you. Bye, guys. I'm
Bye,
sure this cut off
Ife.
anytime now, so I'm just going to be blabbing. Thank you, Derry. You're amazing, and I wish you perfect health in Jesus' name.